Okay, so people asked me to make a video explaining for each loops on array lists. They work on other collections too, but I'm just going to focus on array lists. So I have the Music Organizer V1 project from the Chapter 4 examples. And if we open it up, we'll see that a music organizer, the only field in a music organizer, is an array list of files. Sorry, an array list of type string that's called files. And, you know, for this example, that's a little bit of a, it's going to confuse us a little bit. So I'm going to go to the Edit menu, which you can't see because it's at the top of my screen and I'm using a Mac, but I'm going to, sorry, the Tools menu, and I'm going to say Replace so that the Find and Replace shows up. And I'm going to find the word files everywhere, and I'm just going to globally replace that. Let's see, well, I guess I'll replace it one at a time just so. And we'll call it, instead of calling my array list files, I'm going to call it my array list of music titles. Okay. And I'm going to replace that one. Oops, which I shouldn't have. Anyway, that's fine. It's an array list called files. Files gets that. Files.add. I don't want to do that one. I don't want to do that one. Get number of files. I want to leave that method name the same, but I do want to return files.size. Files.size. So all the times that I used it. Okay. So let's get rid of this find and replace. So now I have exactly the same thing, except let's change this comment so it has files. So now I have one field, which is an array list of strings called my array list of music titles. It's a long name, but it will help us to remember things. And we make a new array list of type string and put it in there in our constructor. So the add file method is pretty simple. We just add the name of the file, right, which is a string. So what I want to do is I want to write a listAll files method. There's a list one file method in this class, but not a list all my files. So I'm going to put it way up at the top. Well, let's stick it here. So we are going to list all of the music files in this collection. And there's going to be no parameters, and there's going to be no return values. It's just going to list them all. So I'm going to write public void list all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a for each loop. And the way you do a for each loop, you have the word for, and there's 3 spots inside of the for loop. The first thing you do is you say, what is the type? Well, let's put at the very end. Let's start at the end. The thing that you put at the end is the array list you're going to be looking at. In this case, it's my array list of music titles. So let's put that in here. Ooh, what happened there? Ah, right, sorry. Using a Mac, you'll have to deal. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put in that last space. Let me copy this again. My array list of music titles. That's the name of the field. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it right there. That looks better. Okay. So I said there were 3 things that go into this for each. And the only way we can tell that it's a for each loop and not a regular for loop is there's a colon in there. Okay. And so a for each loop, a regular for loop has 2 semicolons. A for each loop just has that colon. And now what we need to say is, what is the type of things inside of this collection? Well, we know that my array list of music titles is an array list of string, right, from up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say the individual things in here are strings. And now, inside of our loop, inside of our for each loop, we're going to take one thing out of the array list at a time and deal with it. So we need to have a name that we're going to call the one thing at any given time. Okay, So what we're going to do is we are going to call it, let's see, my one name. Ooh, that has a 0, doesn't it? Let's make it my one. I guess that was no. My one name. Okay. So we're saying my one name is going to be of type string, and it's going to be all the things in my array list of music titles, one after the other. And what do we want to do with that? Well, let's see. I suppose what we could do is we could print it, right? So let's do a let's system.out.println, and then maybe we'll say this song is, and we'll squish that with my one name. Okay, so there's my for each loop. All right, so it's going to go through every single file in my array list of music titles, and each time it's going to call it my one name and print it. Okay, so if we suppose for a minute that, well, let's just run it and see what happens. Let's compile. Oops, I forgot to put a close curly brace to end my method. Compile again. Beautiful. Okay, so let's see if we can squish this a little bit, but let you still look at my listAll method. All right, so here is my BlueJ window, and let's make a new music organizer, and let's put 2 files into it. So let's add the file first song, and then we'll add another file called second cooler song. And now let's run my listAll method. So what's going to happen is it's going to start, it's going to say take my array list of music titles, right? And if we look at my music organizer, here's my array list of music titles. And if we look at the information in there, we have first song and second cooler song, and we ignore these guys because they're all null. So what it's going to do is it's going to say, let me take this array list, let me call this thing, first song, my one name. So then it'll print out this song is, my one name has first song. Then it'll go again, it'll say now call my one name this guy. So now it's going to call it second cooler song. So it'll print this song is, and then the second cooler song. Okay, so let's watch that happen. Let's do listAll, and magic, it did it. Okay. All right, now what I'm going to do here, actually, I have the options menu up above. Again, you can't see it, but I'm going to go to my options menu, and I'm going to say clear screen at method call. So every time I run a method, this terminal window will clear. Okay, so I did the clear string at method call, clear screen at method call. All right, so if I add another file now, let's add I don't know, let's add dogs are cool, and let's add another song, cats are cooler. Okay, and if now, so all of those songs are now going to be in my array list, right? First song, second cooler song, dogs are cool, cats are cooler. So now if I run my method, one after the other, those songs are going to be called my one name. And so this print line is going to do that. So let's list all. And now it says this song is first song, this song is second cooler song, and so on. Right? Let's change this a little bit. Let's just system.out.println. Fun, huh? And see what that does. So I need to recompile. Let's make a new music organizer, and let's add song 1. I'm going to get boring now. Let's add song 2, and let's add song 3. And now if we run listAll, it's going to say song 1 gets called my name, get my one name. Print, this song is song 1. Then it's going to print fun, huh? It's going to end the loop, go back, take the next thing. This song is this, fun, huh? And so on. So let's run listAll. All right. Now we can do more exciting things, like we could make a variable. Let's say int count gets 1. And we could print, instead of just printing this song is blah, we could print count plus this song is. So let's compile. And let's make a new music organizer. And let's add a file. And we'll call it song1. And we'll add another file. And we'll call it cats are cooler. And we'll add another file. And we'll call it dogs are cool. And now when we list all, it prints 1, this song. Well, that's pretty boring, right? We really wanted to say like 1, this song is song 1, 2, this song is cats are cooler, and so on. We've got the spacing nasty too. So I guess we want to do count plus a period and then a space. And at the end of the loop each time, let's do, oops, count plus plus. So that first count is 1. We set my one name to be song 1 in this case, right? We write 1 period, this song is song 1. Then we'll write fun, huh? Now count will go up to 2. So next time when my one name becomes the song, becomes cats are cooler, it'll print 2 period. The song is cats are cooler, and so on. So let's compile this. And let's make a new music organizer, and we will add a file called song1, and then we will add a file called dogs are cool. We will add a file called cats are cooler. We'll add one more this time. Let's add song 2. And now let's list all. And that looks pretty cool, right? It works like we'd expect. Now here's the nice thing about for each loops. Let's make another new music organizer. This one's empty, right? If I run list all, nothing happens because it sets count to 1. It goes into the loop and it says go through the loop once each time for each item in here, but there's no items in there, so we don't see anything running. I can demo that by kind of saying, let's see, let's print at the beginning, system.out.println. I'm inside of listAll. System.out.println. Well, let's see. Println. My array list has plus. We got to take my array list and run the size method. Oops, let's make this a little bit bigger. Can I? There we go. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. My array list has my array list.music titles, and run the size method. And squish that with files. And then, oops, I need to put parentheses on there. And then let's say system.out.println. Here they are. And then after my loop, I'm going to add one more line of code that says system.out.println. Aren't they fun? All right. Let's compile. We'll make a new music organizer called musicorg1, and this one we're going to add a few files to it. Let's add song 2. Let's add cats are cooler. Let's add dogs are cool. Let's add song 1. And then we'll make a second music organizer, which we won't put anything in. So if we run the listAll method here, it says I'm inside of listAll, my array list has 4 files, here they are, blah, 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 blah. Aren't they fun? And if we run the same method on Music Organizer 2, the listAll method, it says I'm inside of listAll, my array list has 0 files, here they are. It goes through my loop, but it says take one at a time, go through every item in my array list of music titles. And there are none. So it just skips this whole loop. And that's one of the nicest things about array lists and the for each loop is it goes through exactly as many times as it has to. You never have to think about it. Okay, hope that helps.